I think we'll get started here. It's August 12th, 2019. It's just after 5:30, and this is a public meeting of the School Board of West Bend Joint School District Number 1. More than 24 hours prior to the meeting, notice of the time, place, date, and subject matter of this meeting was posted in each school building, the entrance doors at the Education Service Center, and at the West Bend Community Memorial Library. A copy was also sent to the Daily News, WBKV, Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, and other media sources that have requested notice of our meetings. Deb, can you confirm this meeting was properly posted?
Yes, it was.
Great, thank you. Please stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Great, thank you. I know Aaron Dove will not be with us tonight. I believe Nancy is on her way, so she'll be joining us. We do recognize a quorum tonight. Hopefully, board members have had a chance to look over our agenda. And with that, I'll take a motion to approve.
Move to approve the agenda.
Second.
Motion to approve and a second. Any questions on the agenda tonight? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion passes. We have an agenda tonight. Is there anybody wishing to address the address the board for public participation tonight? Seeing none, we'll move on to our action items, and on our consent agenda, we have minutes of the July 15th regular board meeting, disbursements posted to August 12th, 2019, ratification of an administrator contract, ratification of a teacher contract, and resignations.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion and a second on the consent agenda. Any questions, discussion on consent agenda tonight? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Consent agenda passes. Our next action item is the 2019-2020 school board calendar change. And Don, why don't I turn that over to you?
I had visited with Craig Sedonico a couple weeks ago, and they're getting close to having a final report ready for us on the Citizens Advisory Group facilities. And so he thought it would probably be in that 60 to 90 minute range. So we thought a committee of the whole meeting night rather than a longer regular board meeting night. And I believe our October 7th was our scheduled committee of the whole meeting night. They have a city council meeting the same night, so we're requesting to move it back 1 week and have the presentation from their group as our committee of the whole meeting.
So we'll be moving our committee of the whole meeting from October 7th to October 14th.
I believe those are the dates.
Yep. And keeping the start time, I believe, at 5:30.
5:30.
Right here in this room. We're just talking about the October 7th committee of the whole meeting, moving it back 1 week to the 14th, which I know is fine for me. Is there any questions, discussion on that? For me? Good. I'll move to, I'll make a motion to move the October 7th, 2019 committee of the whole meeting to October 14th, 2019 with keep the start time at 5:30.
Second. Oh, go ahead.
Kurt second that. And any questions, thoughts?
So that day is Columbus Day. I don't think that presents any particular problem
Do we have school
that
that
I
day?
know of.
We do?
Yes.
And
Thank you.
does that mean that October 7th, there will be no meeting?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Good questions? Any more? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. So that meeting has been changed.
And I will notify Craig in the morning.
Perfect. Thank you. Our next agenda item, action item, is the 2019-2020 annual curriculum plan with Laura Jackson.
So last meeting, I presented on the annual curriculum plan to the board. And I asked if you had any questions to please let me know. Are there any questions that the board would like addressed tonight? Up on the screen is the presentation that I had done last meeting.
I think the last meeting, we were just wanting to make sure some of the links were working and the correct links were pulling up. I haven't personally gone through and clicked on them all, but are we pretty confident everything's up and working? Of course, if something's not, I would hope a parent would contact
know,
you and let
yes.
us know, so, good.
Have you gotten much feedback from parents or questions or no? Okay.
I move to approve the 2019-2020 curriculum plan.
Second.
Any more questions, discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None?
Thank you.
Motion passes. Thank you. We'll turn to Andy Sarno now for the 2019-2020 school meal prices.
Good evening, Mr. President, members of the board, Superintendent Kierkegaard. I appreciate the opportunity where this is a statutory recommendation that we set our meal prices each and every year. It's also a good opportunity to have in communicating this piece of information to our families and sharing that out for planning purposes. The recommendation brought forward is to maintain the 2019-20 meal prices, carry that forward into the 2019-20 school year. Did I say that correctly? I think I did. Okay, thank you. Purpose behind this is that they're a self-sustaining program right now as we're wrapping up our final transactions as of June 30th. They will be financially sustainable. They're doing well, and the additional revenue is not needed at this point in time. They do as well comparability to make sure surrounding school districts as well as just within their program, they're doing well, they're competitive. It just simply isn't needed this year.
I move to accept the 2019-2020 meal prices as a continuation of the previously approved 2018-2019 rates.
Second. Any discussion on this item?
Just a quick comment, Abby does a phenomenal job, as well as her entire food service staff. So when you get a chance to go through one of the programs, they really do work hard. They have kids' best interest at heart, and so very, very fortunate to have Abby as our director, but our entire food service staff does a great job.
Yeah, thank you. And she would at some point, and she had a commitment, she wasn't able to be here tonight. She would like to get in front of you at some point and share some additional information that was above and beyond what was included in the executive summary, but free and reduced rates and participation rates, and what does it look like with her program and whatnot, so it'd be great to have that.
Bring us a snack, though, if she's coming.
We'll do that. Absolutely.
I hope that's a committee of a whole or a presentation. I think we've seen Abby do that in the past and would love an update on that, to see, to ask those kind of questions. Do we have a lot of students with past, due balances? Are they still getting fed every day and that sort of thing? And I know there's a lot of grant money available. Are we applying for grants as it relates to food service and things? So, obviously we can help her prepare for that presentation whenever it comes in the future, so would look forward to that.
Thank you.
Any more questions, discussion on this?
Just one comment, my daughter has not taken a bag lunch in 3 years, so I would say that's a stamp of approval on food service and quality of meals.
That's great. The motion was to accept these prices. Any further discussion, questions? All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? None? Motion passes. Thank you, Andy. Next item is our annual district at-risk plan, and Sharon's going to do that.
Good evening, I'm Sharon Kalis, Director of Pupil Services, along with Laura Jackson, Assistant Superintendent. We are here to once again share the at-risk plan, which we had originally discussed at the last board meeting, and seeking your input and/or recommendation for approval of the plan. So are there any questions related to our at-risk plan?
Must have been a great presentation last time, and it was. I move to approve the district's annual at-risk plan for the 2019-2020 school year.
Second?
Motion and a second. Any questions, discussion on the at-risk plan? All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? None? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next item is a donation from the West Bend Tennis Association. Looks like Dave Ross is going to do that.
Good evening, everyone. Several months ago, we were approached by the West Bend Tennis Association to, they wanted to honor a couple of former coaches, and they've come forward with a donation of some bleachers. The bleachers, the cost of them is in excess of $5,000. Therefore, the board needs to approve the acceptance of the gift.
Cool. Go ahead.
I was just going to move to accept the donation of the new bleachers for the high school tennis courts from the West Bend Tennis Association, and make a note that it's very nice and generous donation and an excellent way to honor these coaches who were involved for so many years. And with our tennis program that continues to grow and grow for both East and West, it's awesome for parents who get to sit on those bleachers to watch.
Second.
That was a long,
I know it
Say,
was,
that's
wasn't
a,
Shorten in
I-
motion just a little
I was
bit.
gonna say.
All right, just, you know.
Dave, my question on the bleachers, they're up at the high school, correct?
Yes.
Not at Badger.
They are at the high school.
And they're permanent? I mean, we'll have them for a long,
They'll be around for a long time. They're aluminum frame bleachers. They'll be putting a plaque to honor the two coaches attached to those bleachers, so should be a nice installation.
cool.
Do they stay outside in the winter?
Yes, they do.
They do.
And I saw in the write-up that you took a look at the proposed bleachers, their quality, and it's
Yes.
something that is acceptable to you
Yes,
and
from
your
a good
department.
manufacturer, they're absolutely perfect.
Great. I'm familiar with the courts, so as you walk onto the first section of courts, will there be a set there and the back courts?
Yes.
Is that how that works?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
They'll probably move them all over the place, so they may start out in that position, but who knows where they'll end up.
Yep. Great. Any more questions? Very nice donation. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? None? And that carries, motion passes. Thank you very much, and
Dave,
please,
one more question though.
Kayla, I see you back there. Please pass along our thank you to these families.
Does anyone know the date? I know they had sent an email about a date that they were going to do the recognition. Does anyone know?
It's
just-
early October.
Yeah, I was trying to find it in an email to see if we could just, in case anyone from the board.
Let me see if I
wanted-
can dig it up. I'm sure I can find it.
Yeah, if you could just let the board know, because it'd be nice if some of us could be there for the recognition.
Sure.
Great, thanks. All right, our report tonight is on suicide prevention. It's like from Sharon and Laura.
The team. A couple of school board meetings, the board had asked us to provide some updates and information about the supports we provide for our students in the West Bend School District. And Deetra from Life of Hope was here along with Jackie Smolt from the high school. Since then, the Youth Impact Club has been approved at the high school level, and they are already active. They are taking part in freshman orientation day and making sure that their fellow students understand the impact of the club, and both of the advisors are high school teachers, that being Jackie Schmold and Sally Hoyer. Along with that, Superintendent Kierkegaard, Laura, and myself met with Deetra from Life of Hope to talk about some collaboration and continued work together to benefit our children. We have invited her to our first counseling department meeting. She would like to review once again the services they provide at Life of Hope, and also encouraging our involvement with them and continued sharing of their resources. Beyond that, one of the things that I have talked about is the services that we provide for our students. And what I have done is I have put it into schemata to talk about the different levels of support for our students. We have county-funded services, agency-funded, school district-funded, and then state-funded through some of our grants. So this was better for me visually to see, again, all the different resources that we have provided for our students in West Bend is certainly above and beyond that of our comparable districts. Some of that has to do with our willingness to apply for grants and be comfortable when they say no, and then just, continue to try to improve our application for the next grant. So we continue to do that with my team and myself. So are there any questions about the services that we have outlined or of the supports that we provide for our students?
Your write-up talked about requirements from DPI. Can you talk a little bit about where those requirements are, and then compare it to what we're providing?
Sure. The instruction piece within school counseling is part of the requirement. In addition, we are provided to give an annual update on suicide prevention. From DPI's point of view, this is a one-page flyer in addition to a new webinar that you can take. I believe it's called the Gatekeepers Training. And our school employees will they will receive their notification during the all-school in-services at the start of the school year. But then beyond that, we provide all of these services in the blue. None of them are required by DPI. We have reached out to our community and our agencies to help support our kids.
Where would Life of Hope fit on this map? Are they an agency-funded group?
Correct. Yep, that is an independent provider for those services. And working with DHR, we also include the QPR training through our professional development, which is always an option for our teachers.
What does agency-funded group mean?
Those would be counseling agencies privately funded in our community, Life of Hope being one, affiliated, Cornerstone Counseling, those types of services. The social emotional learning competencies are provided by DPI. I consider those my standards to align all of our supports for our students. Any other questions?
I appreciate that you're meeting with Life of Hope. Obviously, she was here wondering, why isn't the school district working with us more? Obviously, there's a ton of different places that you can go, as you've outlined here. Being that they're right in our community and in an agency-funded type of group, you know, I'm glad you're at least meeting with them. What comes of it, I don't know, but if it helps one kid, then that's worth it. And so I appreciate the fact that you're meeting with her and her group, and you know, we'll see where it goes. So
Thank you.
good, thank you. Superintendent Kierkegaard,
Well, we're flying through, aren't we?
flying through tonight.
Just a couple things. One is we had leadership team meeting today, so school is just around the corner. The administrators were in today and tomorrow, and so had a full agenda. One of the things we really emphasized today was school safety, and so just said that that's a priority not only this year but every year, but we really, with all the things that are happening, we want to make sure that school safety not only are from an outside intruder, but also within our halls and our classrooms, at our sporting events across the board. School safety is a high priority. At our back to school, we're going to emphasize that again with the entire staff, but also relay the message that it's on all of us, that teachers need to be in the halls helping supervise, principals need to be there, superintendents need, it's not one person is responsible for school safety, but everybody is responsible for school safety. We talked a little bit about, Chief Ken will be here not too far down the road to talk to our principals. I know he will say that if you have any question at all, if you should call, then you've already answered your question, and that means you should call. So if there's any uncertainty at all on whether a call needs to be made, then the call needs to be made. They would much rather have 10 calls that didn't need to happen than one that should have happened and we didn't make that call. New teacher workshop is next Monday and Tuesday, and so Laura and Tim and everybody has a group, a wide variety of activities scheduled for our new teachers, work with our mentors. We've emphasized the importance of our mentors. The research really shows that a successful quality mentor is probably one of the key elements in the future of our teachers. If they have a good mentor, the likelihood of having a 15, 20, 30-year teacher is great. And so we're really working hard with our mentors. We have our full staff is in service on the 26th through the 29th, with the opening kickoff on the 26th. Joel, if you can, you're planning on being there. If you have an opportunity, if not, would certainly like one of the board members to be there. We'd introduce all the board members who are present, but if somebody could make it on the 26th that morning, we'd sure like that as well, okay? Let's see, our superintendent's report will be, our newsletter will be coming out monthly. We're trying to really enhance our communication, not only from the district office, but from all of our buildings to the public, to our patrons, to our parents. And one of the keys is that they might not always agree with what we say, but we want them never to question the professionalism and the timing of how we said it, okay? And so that really is a key element for us this year, is to really work on quality communication, not necessarily that everything is gonna be what you wanna hear, but you're gonna hear it in a professional fashion, and so you can't argue about the fact that you did or didn't get it. You might not like the topic, but we're gonna try to do it as professionally as we possibly can. And then that first report that I'm working on, and I've talked to all the principals, and they're giving me some additional information as well. We're really gonna highlight what's unique about the West Bend School District. What makes us different than the others? We're not trying to say you should come to here rather than go to school X, but what do we do that a lot of our neighbors in Wisconsin don't do? And so that really is the emphasis. And then we're gonna try to highlight something different each month. So if you have a topic that you think should be brought to everyone's attention, please share that with me, and we'll try to focus it or bring it into one of our upcoming issues. So, other than that, the school is just around the corner, 3 weeks.
Great. Thank you. Couple of other board meeting calendar items, and Superintendent, if it's okay, I'm going to take a couple of these things a step a little further. Next Tuesday, new teacher orientation, they're going to have lunch at Badger at noon. And we had a handful of board members at that last year, and it's really a neat event. If you're around and can have lunch at noon next Tuesday at Badger, that's a nice opportunity to meet these mentors, to meet the new teachers, welcome them to the district and so forth. And then on Monday, the 26th, the kickoff is going to start at 7:30 with some donuts and coffee in the cafeteria, and then the entire staff comes through the auditorium doors into the Silver Lining Arts Center just before 8 o'clock. So if you can be there just before 8 o'clock, right inside the doors to the auditorium, that's a nice opportunity to welcome everybody back, shake everybody's hands and so forth. So would love to have the whole board there if possible. Those are two really neat events. Yeah, Laura? 11:30 at Badger next Tuesday on that one. So that's on the 20th. You'll be late if you come at noon. So, good. And then we, board meeting wise, we do have a meeting that first night on, it's August 26th. I guess that's not quite school for students yet, but we have a board meeting that night on August 26th. And then school starts. We have a board meeting September 9th, and then that September 23rd is our budget hearing and annual meeting of the electors, and that's up at the high school. That's budget hearing starts at 6:30. And then the meeting of the electors is at 7, and then that October 7th meeting on the calendar just got moved to the 14th. So we'll send some email reminders out about that as we get a little closer. Any questions on that? So new teacher luncheon next Tuesday, a week from tomorrow at 11:30 at Badger, and then Monday the 26th is the new teacher, not the new teachers, the entire staff kickoff at 8 o'clock up at the high school.
How late on that kickoff day do you foresee the board members having active?
At 8 o'clock. You know, if you want to be there for 5 minutes and just shake hands as people come in, if you got to go to work, that's fine. If you want to come in and sit down and watch the program, I think the program is typically an hour to an hour and a half. 10:30 at the latest. Okay, but sit by the door if you want to see part of it, and then you got to get up and leave. It's totally up to you. Yep.
Last year, we had a keynote speaker. This year, we do not. We tried and got late, and we didn't want to spend a fortune to bring somebody in, and so do not have a keynote speaker this time.
Yeah, it's worth it, I think, just even to be there at 8 o'clock to welcome people back. I always get a kick out of it. It's a exciting day. The teachers are showing up in their school T-shirts usually, and they're pretty pumped to be back for the first day of school for them. So, yeah, would love to have the whole board there if we could. Any other questions on our calendar, or anything on anyone's mind? Okay, if not, I will move to enter into executive session pursuant to Wisconsin State Statute 19.851C to consider employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility, and take any such action, if necessary, based on its discussion, namely, a review and potential action to approve the closed session minutes of July 15, 2019, and staff compensation.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions on this motion? We'll do a roll call vote.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
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 Great. We're in closed session and we'll go upstairs for that.